Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The current long-range meta here in Warzone has so many fantastic choices because of some of the updates that they did with Season 3, of course, alongside some of the new weapons being added in. We've got a fantastic assortment of weapons that are going to be so incredibly consistent for long-range engagements. And today I wanted to break down the entirety of the long-range meta, the best weapons to use in it, and of course, the best loadouts for those best weapons. So we are starting first here with one of my favorites in the game, the Cypher. This is one of the most reliable, upfront, straightforward weapons that we've got. It is so consistent, so easy to use, and it just so happens it's one of the most competitive options in the entire game. Low recoil, great TTK, great range, checking all the right boxes, right? So first up here for the optic, simply a matter of preference. I bounce back and forth between the Volsky reflex, the Willis 3 times, the 2 times, the Oturo red dot. It's just a matter of preference here at the end of the day. If you like a certain scope, rock that until you don't like that certain scope anymore and you're bored of it, then switch over to something else, right? Monolithic suppressor here, extending out our range and our velocity. Reinforced barrel is going to do more of the same there. So we end up with an 1100 plus velocity, 52 meter effective damage range. This thing feels fantastic with that on there. Ranger foregrip on here just for some sprinting movement speed plus some horizontal control. This thing is incredibly easy to use as mentioned, so I don't feel like you need to go all in on horizontal recoil. If you wanted to, you could, but I personally like the added benefit of some movement there. And then extended 2 is going to be a 60 rounder, and that'll work fine for all squad sizes. No concerns with the DPM whatsoever. Next up, one of our brand new weapons, the Kilo, is also fantastic for mid to long range gunfights. Once more, low recoil, super competitive TTK, great range of velocity. If you wanted to go all in on velocity on this thing and sort of forego some control and whatnot, you can get like a 1700 velo or something insane, which is so overkill. You don't need that by any means. Just with this default, go-to loadout, this thing's going to be plenty good. For the optic in this case, I am going for Oturo red dot, as mentioned, one of my mainstream favorites for the optic selection this year. Monolithic suppressor yet again for better range and velocity. And then long barrel in this case is solid just outright with the damage range, because even without reinforced, depending on what level you are on your Kilo, you're up over 1000 velocity as is. With reinforced, you can get up to a 1275, which is also great, if you have that unlocked and available as you're going through and leveling this up. Vertical foregrip or ranger would be great here. Attacking the most horizontal control makes this pattern incredibly predictable, and so I like that. The muscle memory is very minimal here. You don't have to work much to be accurate with this thing. And then lastly, extended 2, 60 rounder, again, gonna work fine for all squad sizes. You don't have to worry about any DPM issues there. This thing is gonna feel very similar to that classic Kilo from Warzone 1. The AMAX is another obvious choice here, brand new gun, and it's also just insanely powerful. The TTK is absurd. The control is honestly not all that bad, especially when you get used to the gun. Velocity is great, range is great. This thing is doing it all right now. One of my, if not my single favorite go-to rifle in the game for the long range. Here I go for the Dobrik 4x optic. This is the one that comes with like the bundle that everyone's using. It also just looks a lot like the VOK 3x and performs like that in game. So that's sort of been a mainstream pick for a lot of the AMAX loadouts so far this year. Mono suppressor, of course, range and velocity benefits, and then reinforced barrel stacking on top of that. We got a 1230 velocity, almost a 65 meter effective damage range. That's more than enough for both of those categories to feel consistent. Vertical foregrip, again, attacking fully on the horizontal recoil control. And then extended 2 here, 60 rounder once more, gonna work fine for solos, duos, trios, quads, whatever you're playing. This will be plenty of ammo to squad wipe and then move on with your day. Happy that you feel like you are unstoppable using a weapon that is this good. And by the way, as we are breaking down all the weapons, all the setups here today, if you enjoy the video, you find it helpful, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to guarantee that on a daily basis, you're always in the know for everything going on in COD, feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Following the AMAX, you have almost its mirrored counterpart here, the AK-74. I found the control to be a little bit worse on the AK, but also the TTK sort of bounces back and forth as to which one is truly best here. So if you feel like you're better with the AK versus the AMAX, you might be more confident with this might be the better option for you. The next player might feel more confident with the AMAX, and that might be the better option for them. They're almost interchangeable here because of how similar they are in terms of performance and feel and everything going on there, but I love both of them equally. Honestly, they are each so much fun. Volsky reflex here initially, again, personal preference at the end of the day. Unfortunately, I don't run mono here because the recoil for me, at least on the AK, especially over range, is just more noticeable outright. So I go for the compensator personally. With reinforced barrel on here though, we have over 1,000 velocity. That's still going to be really good. And then a 51 meter effective damage range is also great as well. Definitely going for vertical foregrip too. Again, just attacking as much recoil as we can. And then extended 2 works fine for me at a 50. If you want to go up to extended 3, it'll be a little bit slower for 10 extra bullets. That's a decent trade-off, I think, in the eyes of a lot of people. Just a matter of preference there. There's no wrong answer. Both of those are going to work fine for all squad sizes. But yeah, you got a lot of very fun options for high damage outputs that are a bit higher skill gap because the recoil between the AMAX and the AK. Another all-time favorite of mine, the GRAU via the SWAT 556 conversion kit, is fantastic for the long range. Even with the iron sight build here, it works because they're clean irons. It's easy to stay on target. This thing is low recoil with a very competitive TTK as well. Obviously, the most important part of the setup is going to be the GRAU 556 conversion kit attachment. Unfortunately, that means you're burning an attachment on just setting up this gun to be the GRAU 556. I still wish it was its own base original gun. Beyond that though, I am using monolithic, of course, for that range and that velocity. We don't have a barrel option here, so by default we're at a 1200 velo, then a 47 meter effective damage range. Vertical foregrip makes this pattern insanely predictable, so this will be one of the easiest and most straightforward options in the game. The only extended mag option you have is a 50 rounder, so of course we're rocking that. And then you got some options between a rear grip and a stock, in my opinion. Quick draw is really good just for a faster ADS. Assault is good too. Commando is good. Ergonomic is good if you're playing this a little bit more aggressive, so any of those honestly will work. But personally, I prefer having a better strafe speed and a slightly better movement speed, so I opt for the balanced stock myself. But there's a lot of options there depending on which mobility or which movement based upgrade you might want there. Or maybe you really just don't like the irons, in which case totally fine, go for an optic instead. You've got some choices here for sure, all of which are going to feel good because it's the GRAU. Obviously, it's not just all fully auto guns that are making up the long range meta. We've got some great sniping choices, the greatest being the HDR. Basically an infinite one-shot range. The one-shot range is insane. The velocity is also insane, and it's honestly pretty quick as well for being a heavy sniper in terms of its ADS speed, right? Here I go for monolithic suppressor, range and velocity. Gain twist barrel, even better velocity. So the one-shot range, like I said, is already crazy because of the 360 headshot damage. 1200 velocity, so the bullet drop and bullet lead is fantastic there. I personally like extended mag 1 here, 7 rounds. I don't have to worry about reloading ever. If you want to go even crazier on your ADS though, and you're okay with less shots and reloading more, fast mag 2 ups that ADS a ton when you stack it with the quick draw rear grip. But even with extended mag 1 on here, 495 is really good for this sniper. You look at that versus like the LR762 and the Frostline, it's much faster there, so that's nice. And then also overpressured ammo on here, stacking to that velocity stat even more. So the hit scan range, the bullet drop, the bullet lead is going to be so good on this thing. It's a very easy to use sniper, and it's so strong. The Frostline's another great choice as well. The one-shot range won't be as good as the HDR, obviously, but it's still a very reliable sniper. If you're not, looking to use the HDR, maybe you're a little bit bored of that, or you don't have it unlocked yet, whatever the case is, right? Again, I'm going for monolithic suppressor for the better velocity and damage range, and then long barrel stack and better damage range on there as well. So we have an 80 meter one-shot headshot and a 1200 velocity. That thing is going to be fantastic. Fast mag 1 in this case does give us a slightly faster ADS, and we still got 4 shots, so you're gonna be able to get some easy quick kills on that. ADS speed 515 when we also stack the quick draw riser on there as well, so decently fast, all things considered. Then of course overpressured ammo on there for stacking into that velocity stat as well. That's why we've got 1200 on there. Really just a straightforward sniper, gets the job done with a really generous one-shot range. And then the LR762 is essentially the same setup here, just with some slightly different stat values, right? So again, monolithic suppressor for the better range and velocity, and long barrel for the better range, leaves us with a 94 meter one-shot headshot range, which is really solid. Fast mag 2 in this case, still a 4-round mag, which is fine. We get a slightly faster ADS, 566 though, with fast mag 2 and the quick draw rear grip on there, so definitely the slowest ADSing, but also the sort of middle ground between the HDR crazy one shot and the Frostline slightly shorter one shot. Then again, overpressured ammo, like I said, it's basically the same setup here, just with different values. 1269 velocity on that is going to work just fine. So really good sniper assortment here for the long range meta. It's nice having the options. Now the KRIG is a weapon that I kind of go back and forth with. It's got a really good TTK, great range, it's going to kill quick in the long range, but its recoil is just really awkward. It's not bad like the AKs or the AMAXs might be visually, where there's a lot of bounce. The pattern is just sporadic. It starts really easy, and then it starts bouncing all over the place. So if you like spam tap it, so like you burst shoot it a couple of times, shoot 5, 6, 7, 8 bullets, stop, reset it real quick, keep going, or if you just spend the time to learn the pattern or adjust as it's bouncing, you're going to be good at this thing. It just takes a lot more time to get used to than some of the other options on this list here today. Again, for the optics, simply a matter of preference. I'm rocking the 2x in this case. The compensator for that aforementioned strange recoil, as much as I'd love to use monolithic, I feel like I got to go in more on the recoil control. I do go for reinforced barrel, so we do get better range and velocity. 984 velo is sufficient. It's not the best, but it'll work just fine. 53 meter effective damage range is pretty good too. Vertical foregrip is really important here for the weird horizontal bounce, so that at least helps out some. And then extended 2 here being a 70, that's a lot larger than typically we see, so you get some nice extra ammo there. Nice little safety net. So weird feeling gun, but still usable if you put the time in. And then lastly here, the GPR, another very easy to use weapon. It's not going to have the craziest TTK over the long range, but it's going to be straightforward, and for that, its realistic TTK is going to be very competitive with other options when you factor in accuracy and everything going on there. So again, 2x optic, matter of preference. Monolithic suppressor in this case, better range velocity, stacking it even more with reinforced. So we end up with an 1100 velocity and a 43 meter effective damage range with a pretty minimal drop off, at least through some of the mid range there. Ranger foregrip, just because this weapon is a little bit easier than other options, so you can get some mobility, but still get some decent control back out of that. Of course, if you want to go all in on control, simply opt for the vertical instead. And then extended 2 here, it will be a 60. Again, that'll work fine for all squad sizes. So while it's not super diverse in terms of games weapons, obviously MW2, MW3 weapons are a bit lacking because those weren't updated enough with season 3. What we do have here for our long range selection is very fun. You've got options in terms of feel, weapon category. There are some really good choices now. That said, that's going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.